Okay, that should be better. Um, Today we're gonna be doing a tier list. This is like the first batch of matchups I want to see Death Battle do. At, at the time I'm recording this, Kai versus Tahu will be out this Sunday. Um, and so we're gonna start with, and I guess there are mostly returning combatants besides Bendy versus Cuphead, but we're gonna start with Vile versus Boba Fett, and we're gonna put it in C tier because even though we don't need Boba Fett just yet, actually, time doesn't really matter. It's about the matchup, and I think this matchup's pretty good. Um, Next is Samus Aran versus Master Chief, and I think that this would be the ultimate Samus episode, and if they play their cards right, it could also be the ultimate Master Chief episode. Not to say that I disliked any of the ones that came before, but I still think it would be incredible to see that one. Next is Akuma versus Yujiro Hanma, and I think it's the perfect matchup for Yujiro, and I'll give it a B tier um of the because I said so. I don't really have a good enough reason. I you know what, I do have a reason. It's because I don't want it as much as others. That's gonna be a common thing here. M Bison versus Shang Tsung can well, I mean, yeah, it can stay in C tier. I do want fighting game characters to be on Death Battle again, and I think this would be a good one. I think it'd be a very good one. Um, of course, there are better ones. Next up is Goomba versus Hot Dog. This one is just more of a funny joke to me, so I'll put it in D tier because I don't care about the matchup like that. Although it would be pretty funny if it did get an episode for no reason. Um, that's all I really got for that one. Next up is the Koopa Troopa versus Stormtrooper. And I think it would be a pretty fairly grounded army fight. Excuse me, like it doesn't have to be on space or in a bunch of planets. It could just be like a ship lands on, I don't know, the Mushroom Kingdom or something, and the every single Koopa known to man, well, Koopa Troopa that there is, goes against all the stormtroopers. I don't know. It could be fun. Like they could even throw the Koopa General and Captain Rex in there. I maybe it could work. Um, yeesh. uh, what else? I know we'll do Team Ruby versus Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles. I feel like with this one you can't really like it's not perfect, but it's like I don't know. I find it to be a fun matchup. Like a four on. I don't know if they've done a 4-on-4 per se, like a 4v4, I should say, but it could be like I don't know. I think it could be fun. Next is Leonardo versus White Ranger Tommy Oliver, and um, although I don't like as a matchup, I don't prefer it to Leo versus Jason, but with the result we got with that one, I wouldn't hate if any Ninja Turtle episode happened in the future. In fact, I would love to see that happen. And I think with Leo versus Tommy, it could work. Next is Coco versus Donatello, and for this one, I think the the Ninja Turtle, I don't know, I think it's the perfect one for both if we're talking about a 1v1. And I'll put it in B tier because it makes, like I said, it makes the most sense for both. I'm just repeating shit. Michelangelo versus Jay Walker, I think, would be a cool Ninjago episode, and with Kai versus Tahu coming up, I think this wouldn't be a terrible alternative. Like if they are, it's kind of like how they did a My Hero Academia and Chainsaw Man back to back, or not back to back, but in more recent memory, they've been researching the hell out of those two. So I figured With all the research that's going into Ninjago, you think they could like find room to put Mikey versus Jay in there? I'll give it a B tier. I like it. Next is Old Man Logan versus The Last Ronin. This one is an S tier. It really belongs in S tier. It's like tragic versions of Wolverine and Michelangelo, and they like I don't know. They're a lot more bleak than not like Wolverine was a very chipper character, but yeah, I don't know. I think it would totally. I think it'd be great. I think it'd be badass. Um, where did I put it? Next is Raphael versus Inosuke from Demon Slayer. And it's been a while since we had a Demon Slayer, and if they're not gonna do like Rengoku versus Mirio or Sukuna versus Muzan, then or even Alphonse versus Nezuko, there's a couple they could do, but I don't know. Raphael versus Inosuke doesn't seem like too much work on the research side. Excuse me, but yeah, man, I hope maybe someday I'll learn how to edit a damn video. Um, yeah, after the Ninja Turtles, I am kind of going in order of like season one um characters, and I can't really think who's in that. Oh yeah, Yoshi versus Chocobo. And I don't know, it just seems like the most fun thing ever. What was that noise I just made? Yeesh. God, I'm old. But yeah, Yoshi versus Chocobo seems pretty self-explanatory. Funny, happy-go-lucky little buddies that like assist you as like a little thing, like a little like as a horse, I guess. Um, but after Yoshi versus Chocobo, we'll do Kratos. Yeah, Kratos versus Dante. I think would be a fun one. Hoping they can get Kratos's like character right. That is to say, I didn't really hate Kratos versus Asura. And Dante versus Clive was an absolute treat. So much visual like eye candy. I really I enjoyed both of Dante's episodes. So much, and I feel like if they were to do this one, I feel like they could pull it off really well. They have the ability to do so. Um, yeah, I love the Death Battle series. Next is Spawn versus Demi Fiend. I know there is a lot of B tier matchups, but like I don't know. Either I'm overthinking it or I'm underthinking it. I'm not 100% sure. Maybe there's too many tiers. Maybe there's not enough. I don't know too much about Demi Fiend. I just want to see more of Spawn, and that goes for a bunch of other characters on here, like Burger Time and Baki, and even like Ninjago and Demon Slayer, from what I understand. Oh yeah, and Power Rangers. Like I have people in my life who do like those series and are more knowledgeable on them way more than I am. Spawn versus Demi Fiend is good enough to be a B tier. And after that, Vegeta versus King DDD I find hilarious as an idea, but I also find it leagues better than Vegeta versus Wonder Woman. So when Prince meets the King, who will ultimately claim that claim that throne, and it's also the best Kirby versus Dragon Ball matchup. Um, Besides Kirby versus Majin Buu, and even Goku versus Kirby. I mean, I don't know what else they could do for like having those series against each other. There's probably more to that than I'm letting on, but yeah. Next is Shadow the Hedgehog versus Vincent Valentine from Final Fantasy VII. Yeah, this one I feel like could be a fun Shadow episode. And maybe for like even if it's for a brief time, I would like to see both. Like I would like to see I would like to see Shadow like fire his gun like with with the gun being loaded this time. And next is Paper Mario versus Epic Mickey. This one's also an S tier because it's a more unique idea of the Mario versus Mickey Mouse like matchup, and they made it more unique by bringing these two into it as an idea. and I absolutely adore it. I don't think there's any beating around that one. And while we're at it, Goku versus Sonic, I think, would be like spectacular if it's anything like Trunks versus Silver or Cell versus Metal Sonic. And Goku versus Sonic would be great. There's also Archie Sonic versus Makoto Yuki, and I'm not as attached to Sonic versus Makoto as like other people are, but I do like the concept behind it, like life and death. Like that's a good way to like compare and contrast the two blue-haired Sega protagonists. Um, and then Kaizen Ibaraki versus Fleetway Sonic. I'm gonna be 100% with you. I don't know anything about Toho. Um, so any Toho fans out there, don't come at me with like pitchforks and such. But I don't know why I said that. Jesus. But yeah, this one's pretty dang good. Um, I don't know. I don't hate it. Next is Luke Skywalker versus Saber, and much like Kaizen versus Sonic, I don't know anything about Fate, like the Fate series, the Stay Night, the Grand Order, all that. Um, I don't know, but I like the idea of Luke getting another matchup. And this is like without rematches, because I feel like I would put Luke versus Harry a little bit higher. Um, in fact, I gotta like order these a bit better. But yeah, this one I think would be a lot of fun to watch. Then Harry Potter versus Percy Jackson, I think, is my preferred for both Harry and Percy. I don't really care for Percy versus Zagreus like that, but I wouldn't hate it if it happened. And I can't think of any better matchups for Harry Potter himself. So there you go. I mean, you get what you get. It's fine. It's cool. Um, I really do think the potential of these like matchups is like I don't know. I don't want to say unmatched, but I don't want to. I don't know. But I'm sure it could be like a lot of fun to like get at least one. If any one of these happens like this year, I don't think so because if Kai versus Tahu wasn't a pitch, then it's gonna be like one of the or like the rest this year are gonna be like pitches, and we're probably not gonna get Common Rider Geats versus Nero Claudius until like 2027. Excuse me, dang, which is all right. I'm not like hung up about that. That'd be silly. Shockwave versus Archie Eggman. I don't know too much about other than my sister loves the hell out of Transformers and that Archie Eggman is the most evil depiction of him, at least in official Sonic stuff. But I think it serves well as an Eggman matchup. I'd like to put it right here. And then Princess Peach versus Barbie seems like, oh wow, you put a pink themed girl character against a pink themed girl character, but like I'm almost positive that there is more to it than that. Like Peach and Barbie have like all these different like I'm sure Barbie has again, I don't know much about Barbie, but they have a lot of different like powers and stuff and I think it could work very well as especially with Princess Peach Showtime, they give her more of like more costumes. And then after that, Link versus the Tarnished is an idea that I really like. The I would like to see the Tarnished to be in a fight, and I think Link might just be the best that he's got, at least as far as I'm concerned. Um, Batman versus Moon Knight, I think would be a fun one, but yeah, and I mean, I guess there's no real. This is like the matchups that I want, so we don't really need an F tier now that I really think about it. Um, but like the public version of this tier list will still have the F tier. Um, Spider-Man versus Ladybug, I think, would be great. I really like the idea surrounding that one. I don't know. Maybe Louise can animate Spider-Man versus Ladybug. I don't know. Um, then Pikachu versus Jibanyan can go like should go right here would be fine. It's a Pokemon. If it were to be like a Pokemon without a trainer and a yokai without its yokai watcher, again, I don't know about yokai watch like that. Um, but yeah, the second to last is Superman versus Optimus Prime, and I think that one would just be. I don't know. As silly of an idea as that sounds, I think Clark versus Prime would be like. I don't know. It could be like, wow, it's so beautiful, or like, wow, this death. It's like I don't know what it is. The feeling I get when I watch Goku versus Superman 3 and think, "Oh my god, this is peak fiction. I should be crying right now." And Bendy versus Cuphead goes in S tier because I don't know. I would love to see Bendy versus Cuphead on the show. I think it'd be great. This is what the tier list looks like for now. Yeah, that's really about it.